Salutations to the glorious land of YouTube. I return for my third installment of Build Spotlights. I am Shunrin, aka the friggin' Iron Man, and we are here to continue on where we left off with our previous spotlights. Build Spotlights, that is, my new series all about how to do the entire build surrounding objects. And today, we are going to revisit our boiler setup here and make a few changes, make things a little nicer. And this isn't really going to be so much about the boilers themselves as switching out the logistics pipes with the Applied Energistics mod, which I know a lot of people have and love, and it's also one of my personal favorites. Whenever I get a new world going for the first time and I start building up, from scratch, I always go for Applied Energistics pretty quickly because it's such a nice mod. And so we're going to get that going today, and we'll make a few minor changes really quick down here. Also, on a side note, I know the last two videos have been pretty choppy. I'm not sure if this one's going to be choppy as well. It's just due to the recording software I'm using. It's a cruddy freeware version. I apologize about that. I will be getting a better version as soon as I can for recording. As soon as I can afford to pick up a really good software program, I will be doing that. And in the meantime, of course, we'll just have to plug along the best we can and see what we can do. So on that note, let's go ahead and get started here. I think the first thing we're going to do is, what I've been wanting to do is get down here with these and make a slight change to these engines here. And in order to get that going, what we're going to do is just move them. Because what you want to do, ideally, and I'm just going to punch these out again because I'm in creative mode, so we're going to just be able to hit them out. Normally you would need to use a wrench or some other item to do some of this, especially for the liquid ducts and the conduits. But what you want to do here is, it's a lot better, and I just set this up on the fly for the build spotlights themselves, and I know a lot of people are probably going to say, hey, what's going on there? But what you really want to do is if you're going to have a tank for steam, like that tank right there that we made in the last episode, what you really want to do is set things up so that steam goes into the tank first, and then have the engines being fed out of said tank. So, actually that needs to stay in place, but I want to bury it, because we're trying to make things look nice, right? So let me grab another liquid duct here, and I will continue moving this here. And I'm actually going to get rid of this, because we're going to clean everything up a little bit here. We want to make everything look nice and neat. And yeah, okay. I'll do something with that in a minute here. A lot of this is going to rely on thermal expansion mod, which is also one of my favorites. So what I'm going to do is just run this liquid duct under the ground here, over to this particular boiler. We're going to wrench that so that it connects. And then we can just cover all this up. And this wouldn't look silly with the grass if we weren't outside. Ideally, you would be inside your base, up in your own area, and you would be able to cover this up in your floors, your walls, or whatever else. But yeah, that looks all right. It doesn't look great, but it looks all right, so we can deal. And what we're going to do is come over here, and I'm going to grab a valve for this tank. If you didn't see me make this tank before, you might want to check out the last video when I set this thing up. You can knock out bits of this and not have to worry about your steam. Now, when you broke the side of it, then the steam was just building up inside the boilers themselves. It'll stop being able to come over here. And then once you place the new valves, or the new viewers, or glass, or even if you replaced, the siding that you made stuff out of, whatever you replace it out of, it stores the liquid data in the valve that you first placed down and right-clicked on to activate the tank. So once you place new valves or whatever else, just re-right-click a valve and you'll be perfectly fine. So what we're going to do here is I'm going to grab, actually no, we're going to bring these out at least one space, and we want to click properly, preferably. That way we can feed the engines straight out of the tank here. And then what I think we're going to do is let's make a side setup. How's that sound? Does that sound good? I think it sounds good. How many is this wide? This is 10 wide. Okay. So each boiler puts out enough steam for 18 industrial strength engines. So we're going to set up twice that, 36, 10, 20, 3... Actually, this is a horrible idea. I just realized that. So let's go with, you know what, let's go down like I did before, and we'll come up underneath the engines. Actually, I don't think we even need to connect those really right now. So let's grab our industrial steam engines, and I showed how to craft these in a previous video as well. But it's basically just like any other engine, except for you use steel. So you get the 3 steel plates and the 2 steel gears with a piston and glass. The steel plate is just 4 steel, and a rolling machine gets you 3 of them. And then the steel gears are 4 steel around a stone gear. So what you're going to do is bring these over here. So I'm going to go engine there. We'll have a gap, engine there. Do I like that? Engine. Need a conduit here. Wrench that. Engine. And then we'll have our power trigger set here. And then we'll have another engine. And another conduit. Another engine. I think that'll work, but I don't know if the valves will be able to keep up. So let's see what we got here. Let's do a quick test. By my math, I think it should keep up, but I could be mathing horribly, horribly wrong, so we'll see what happens. There we go. So we're going to bring out this way. There we go. Whoop. Like I said in the last video, if you didn't have OCD before you started playing Minecraft, you do now. It all has to be perfect. And if you did have OCD before Minecraft, it's just going to get worse. Always worse, never better. So I'm just going to go with 30 engines. You could put 36 in here, but just for the sake of demonstrations for setup, I'm just going to put the 30 in there. That way you get a little bit of extra steam buildup for storage in the tank. That way, in case the boilers suddenly stop running for some reason, you will be able to quickly check on it. And honestly, 30 steam boilers at 8 apiece, 80, 240 millijoules a tick. Not really sure that you'll need that much even, but hey. I guess it really depends on your power output, right? Or what your power intake is. Whoops, there we go. Then we just wrench all these guys so that they're facing the conduit. Pretty similar to what I showed you guys before. And then wrench all the conduits so that they're pointing out away from the edges, little arrows. Arrows, 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 arrows. Engines, spin those guys around. $10, $20. Actually, this is 40 engines, so this is actually going to drain the steam. 19, 36. It's actually 4 more engines. 10, 20, 30. Yeah, let's get rid of this line of engines. Didn't stop to count that. So this is 10, 20, and 30 engine line. And then what we're going to do is I'm going to grab a conduit in the middle, and then we're going to grab our redstone energy cell for charging purposes, stick it right there, and we are going to tell it to ignore redstone signal, crank its output to maximum, and then we'll get our structure pipe, our odd arctic gate, there we go. And I did cover how to set this all up last time in one previous video, so if you didn't see that, go check that out as well. I will continue to shamelessly plug my own material, because that's how it works. So, we're going to get these guys connected up, and this one line will activate that entire set of both rows of engines there. And actually what I'm going to do, I think No, we'll just do the one. That's alright. Fantastic. Now we got to get the steam coming into there, so we're going to grab some levers. And we're going to put a lever next to each of these guys here. See what I mean about OCD? The lever doesn't even point the right way. Oh, I had a lever in my inventory. Okay. And then you just hit these. Then you just hit the liquid ducts with a pipe, or with a wrench rather, to point them out. There we go. Steam coming out. Engines activating. Glory is happening. Power. All the power for all the days, all the times. Didn't get steam up here. Let's connect those two. Just because I'm a complete moron, apparently. We're going to see if these 4 valves can actually support all 30 of these pipes. Whoops, there we go. Hello? There we go. I'm thinking it will, but I'm not 100% sure. There we go. Now there's the glory. I like it. So we'll give those a few moments to warm up. And then what I'm going to do here is we're going to grab an item, a new item that I haven't shown you guys before. It's called the Energy Tesseract. And we're going to pop one right there, right against the redstone cell. And then we're going to come over here to these that we're filling our liquid boiler. It's going cold right now because it's not getting power to get biofuel in, but it still has some in there, so we're good for the moment. Wow, that's pretty hot. And I'm going to put this down just right there. No. We need to give it some space. So let's put it down. That's right there. That's good. And I'll grab another conduit here. Whoops. All the misclicks for all the days, forever and ever. Amen. There we go. And then what we're going to do is the Energy Tesseract is actually like the old power teleport pipes. We're going to get in here and we're going to name this main for power main, right? There we go. And we're going to disable its redstone signal as well. And we're going to tell it to send only main add. You click the plus button here, save frequency, and it will add that frequency on there. So now this is sending power out of the cell, which is already charging up really fast. Wow. And then we're going to come over here, and we're going to tell you receive only main check mark disable signal. And you see the biofuel instantly start coming out? That's because they're getting power again now. So this is pulling power from over there and teleporting it to over here so we can power all these guys. So everything's looking beautiful now. You're getting your biofuel back in. Not as fast as you're using it yet, but you'll get it'll pick back up. Don't worry about that. No big deal. So now we got things looking a little better over here. I want to check on how much steam these guys are getting, how much... Oh, they are not putting out anything. Look at that, 4 millijoules a tick. 4 millijoules a tick. So we need more valves, basically. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to put in valves. If I could type, valve. Let's put these in right here as well, behind each of these guys. Whoops. Whoops. Once again, all the misclicks forever. Sour both those misclicks. Reactivate the tank. There we go. And we'll put these out, 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 and out. And then we're going to get our freestanding jacketed wire. And I'm going to run it up like so to activate these valves. There we go. That looks nice. Now let's see how our steam's doing. Ah, almost there. 7.7, 7.8. Yeah, it's just climbing. It has to take a second to heat all the way up. But yeah, now that we doubled the valves in the tank, we're doing good. The only drawback to this setup, actually, guys, is that these valves can only draw off the tank at this level. So if the steam drops below the level of those valves, like down to here, for example, or here, right in the middle between, these valves won't have any steam to draw. The valves are smart that way. They won't draw what they can't use, or what isn't there to use, rather. So actually, you know what? Let's do this a slightly different way, I think. Let's, that was actually a demonstration purposes. I wasn't messing up there, honest. I was just simply demonstrating what not to do, obviously. Go with it, guys. Shush! Shush! Go with it. Okay. Viewer. So what we're going to do is I'm actually going to shut all these off for the moment. And we're going to pop that out, put the viewers back in there. Oh, good lord. There we go. And what I want to do over here, I think, is we're going to go valve, valve, valve. And we'll put one right in the center, too. That looks good. And then what we can do is grab our liquid ducts and connect everything along here like this. We'll reactivate the tank. And then we'll put the levers. I think what we're going to do is we're going to put the lever. Let's just do one lever. And I think I want to run them underneath. I think that'll look good. See, a smart builder would plan this out before doing it. Not me. I like to just do. Do first, ask questions later. That sounds a little bit dirtier than strictly needed for Minecraft, but hey, roll with it, guys. We'll put our lever right there, and we'll get the valve all connected up with the liquid ducts here, and the jacketed wire. There we go. And just make sure to right-click all these so they're pointing out, as we did before. Boom. There we go. Now we have all the steam for all the days, forever and ever. Oh, look at that. Wonderful. Everything's now doing good. We got our power coming in. This looks way nicer. You hide this in a wall somewhere in your base. No one ever sees it. Unless you want the tank to be the wall to your base, and then you can just always see your tank. Looks like we are using more steam than we got coming in, though, still. Wow, look how fast it's draining. Are you not? Yeah, you still got going. It's probably because this... Oh, no, he's filling back up. Okay. Well, apparently my math was wrong. I could have sworn... 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Nope, that's right. One of those boilers should be able to support 36 of these. Oh, you know what? It was probably because it was filling up their internal buffers. Yeah, once these internal buffers fill up, we should be fine. Boom. Now let's check. Still draining a little bit quick. Are they all full up? Yeah, they're all full up. Alright, well, to disable one of these, really all you got to do is wrench over here so it points out as if it was an output. And then this guy will stop getting steam. You can see his internal buffer falling really quick. Wow. Dang. Let's, still dropping. Alright, I think it's because the pipes are filling up, honestly. So I'm actually going to reconnect all these. Oh, you know what? It's probably because the boilers can't dump out completely with one. Yeah, look at that. These guys are full up. And they're bringing all these out, and it's getting clogged up in the liquid duct. So we need more valves over here, I'm pretty sure. Let's try this out. Half of building is finding what you did wrong, guys. It's just a fact of the matter. When it was just a demonstration for the boiler themselves, we were fine, but let's get some more valves up in here. There we go. And we are going to connect like so. Ponk. Ponk. Oh, wow. Now we're dead even? Is that what's happening here? Now we're dead even. It's using it exactly as fast as it's coming in. That's funny. How about you guys? You are still not draining as fast as you could be. Let's put a few more valves in. Always better to overdo than underdo, guys. Remember that. That is the rule of the mad scientist. And I am the freaking Iron Man, so always got to do it. There we go. Look at that. Now we're getting positive steam income. Probably set up a few more engines if we wanted to. Are you guys draining faster than Yeah, you're doing good. Okay. There we go. So really, I think what you want to do is you want to put 6 to 9 of these guys coming out of a steam boiler, and then you want to get at least one valve per output, I think is going to be your best bet. So let's actually do that just for the sake of argument. And if it sounds like I'm slightly unsure about this, guys, it's not because I haven't done this before. It's because I have actually, this is the first time I have ever set up 2 boilers at once like this. And I would normally not do this. I would pick solid, or I would pick steam, pick solid or pick liquid. Pick one or the other is what I would normally do with this setup. And I would run with that for my main power, for my main base, in an actual playthrough. And I will never ever have I ever actually set up 2 boilers like this before. So that's the uncertain factor in this. There we go. That's wonderful. Now all the numbers are coming out the way they should be. Steam's emptying out faster than it's coming in. I like it. How's our power cell doing? Oh wow, it's almost fully charged. Whoa. Why are you not charging? Now what? Guys? Oh, it is charging. That was a weird little graphical bug. Okay. So now that we're a good 24 minutes into this video, we got that all sorted out. I would have done that off camera, but like I said in an earlier video, I want to show everything for all the days so everybody can see all the things. Now we're going to go ahead and set up our Applied Energistics. And what we're going to do that is we need to get down underneath where we set up our piping before, and we need to undo the piping. So, what I'm going to do is break some of the hard work of our cart guys. And if you want to see how we got these tree farms set up with these carts, go back and watch the previous videos, because I show all the things for all the days. And we're just going to break through here. Basically what we're doing is Applied Energistics uses its own set of piping, so we have to get rid of all of our pipes. So we're doing this. Whoops. Should have started at the other end. That might have been a good idea. There we go. Spitting wood out all over the place because I was completely dumb. There we go. Disconnect any engines and everything first, guys. Always a good plan. What are you doing? What are you burning trees for? Okay. So now we got the pipes out of there. The wood's just going to build up in here for the time being. We're probably going to get a slight interruption in our solid boiler based on the fact that I have completely stopped the wood income at the moment. And that's fine. It'll go a little bit cold while we're working on this, and then it'll get better. So, we're just removing the piping from underneath, because as I mentioned, Applied Energistics has its own piping / power setup. So really you don't need to worry about pipes with Applied Energistics, because it's such a wonderful mod. It's a storage / item transport / piping type mod. And it's delicious the way it does things. And the first thing you're going to need to build... Oh, you know what? I should probably show you guys that energy tesseract really quick. You got to get a machine called a liquid transposer and a magma crucible, which is in thermal expansion. And then the energy tesseract, you build this tesseract frame, which is 4 tin, a diamond, and 4 hardened glass. Hardened glass is built in an induction smelter. You get 2 pulverized or crushed obsidian dust. 1 lead gets you 2 of those babies. And then you put them like that. And then you have to put the liquid transposer machine down and put the tesseract frame inside of it. And then the molten ender is ender pearls in the magma crucible. And then it just feeds it over and it fills up the unattuned tesseract. And then it's 1,000 millibuckets. So you need 2 ender pearls per each of these guys. And then you get an electrum ingot, 2 silver, and 2 lead, and a conductance coil around that unattuned frame gets you the energy tesseract. Redstone conductance coil is an electrum bar with 2 redstone. So now what we're going to do is we are going to get in here to the storage piece of our Applied Energistics. The storage piece is going to come from... We're going to build a heat vent. We're going to build crafting CPUs. We're going to build the assembly chamber containment wall. And we are going to build the crafting... piece. Where's the crafting piece, guys? Oh no, that's the crafting CPU. That is the crafting piece. No, it's not. Whoops. Ha 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 ha. Complete fails all the time. Not gonna edit. Don't even care. Oh, is this it? No, that's the encoder. I'll have to apologize a little bit, guys. Applied Energistics is still a little bit new to me. Again, not going to edit. Still don't even care. So one of these guys, I probably hovered over it 19,000 times. That's the encoder, that's the drive, controller, pattern provider. Not the crafting terminals. No, it's not the interface. What am I doing? Am I just being completely blind, guys? Oh my god, I'm being completely blind. It's probably right there. I'm probably looking right at it. Okay, pattern provider, controller, drive, encoder is not it, access terminal, chest, ME interface, pre-formatter, heat vent, assembly containment wall, port, crafting monitor, quartz grind, crystal stone, storage. No? Interface. It's not the encoder. Stop grabbing that. It must. Oh, it is the pattern provider. Alright, so you get the ME heat vent, you get an assembly containment wall, you get a crafting CPU, and you get the ME pattern provider. And these are made as such. The heat vent is 4 iron bars, 4 iron, and 1 ME cable. An ME cable is made out of a quartz fiber and 2 redstone. The quartz fiber is 3 quartz dust and 6 glass. A quartz dust is just made by pulverizing a quartz crystal or by mining just straight ore. You get a chance to get it if you take out the ore. The assembly containment wall is going to be 1 quartz crystal, 4 iron, and 4 gold per wall. The crafting CPU is going to be 2 glowstone, 2 quartz crystals, 4 iron, and 1 advanced processor, which is smelting and advanced processor assembly, which is going to be you take a quartz cutting knife, which is just 2 quartz and an iron and 2 sticks, 2 redstone, a silicon, and a diamond. The silicon is just made by smelting quartz dust. And then you need the pattern provider, which is another one of those advanced processors, 4 iron, a crafting table, and 2 of these conversion matrices, and a storage cell. Storage cell is a basic processor, 4 quartz crystals, and 4 redstone. The basic processor is smelted by the basic processor assembly, which is the same way as the advanced one, but gold instead of diamond. And then the conversion matrix is another one of those basic processors, 2 redstone, 2 quartz, and 4 iron. Alright, clear as mud, fantastic. So you can build this pretty much as big as you want to. It's a multi-block structure, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave this gap right here, and we're going to put it like so. Whoops. And I recommend at least doing a 4x4, like so. In my play worlds, I usually do a 5x5 or a 6x6, but you can get away with a 4x4, which is all we're going to do for this video. If I need to make this bigger, I will. I don't see why I would, though. Like so. So you take the containment wall, or the assembly containment wall, and you build the frame like that. And then you're going to take your heating vents, and you're going to fill up the walls and floors and ceiling with it. Just like that. And then what you do is you take your crafting CPUs and you put them in the back. These actually just speed up crafting time. And then the pattern providers you put in the front, like so. And you can put these any way in there if you want to. It doesn't have to be exactly like I just placed it, but as long as they're in there, you should be good for the most part. Then you can close this up like this. And bam, as soon as you place the last one, the whole thing gets put together, and you're looking golden. If you right-click, you can see your patterns. You have 1 of 4 pages with this basic setup. These pages are 6 by 9, so you can hold that many next, previous, and you can put patterns in here. And if we grab a pattern, let's see, pattern provider. This guy doesn't need to actually be, oh no, I'm sorry, not the pattern provider. There's a pattern encoder, I believe. There it is. That doesn't actually need to be hooked up to anything. Most of the Applied Energistics stuff needs power. This guy doesn't. All he does is he encodes patterns. You can make these blank pattern guys here. The pattern encoder is made with another one of those matrices I showed you, a crafting table, and 7 iron. And I already showed you guys the cable. We're just going to grab the basic cable here. ME cable. There it is. And you're going to need blank patterns, ME blank patterns, so I'm just going to grab a stack of those for now. A blank pattern is made just out of taking 3 iron, a quartz crystal, 3 glowstone, and 2 glass. And what you do is you make a pattern out of things. So this guy, all of your Applied Energistics stuff can run off of one huge setup, basically. So you have this one giant guy, and everything connect to everything else. So what we're going to do here is, we actually aren't even going to need these encoders right now. I'm just going to show you briefly how they work in a few minutes here. We're going to get rid of our piping. And we're actually going to get rid of these barrels here too, because we're not going to need them anymore. So I think what we'll actually do here, just to make things easy on ourselves. Whoops. Ha 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 ha. Oh, so much fail, you guys. All the days. ME chest. I'm actually going to put these underneath here for the time being. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2, 3, 4, 5. The ME chest is a pretty easy recipe. Just one of those conversion matrices, a chest, 2 glass, and 5 iron. And then each chest that you place down is going to need a storage chip. The basic storage chip is going to be the easiest one that you're going to get. 2, 3, 4, 5. And they are going to be 3 iron, a storage cell, 3 redstone, and 2 glass. The storage cell, as I showed you before, is the basic processor. And you put each of these in there. But what I like to do is I like to take and format things. So you get a formatter, drive, pattern encoder, wireless access terminal, chest, interface, pre-formatter, sorry. This guy doesn't need to sit against anything either. He doesn't need power. And all you do is you can take your storage chip. You see how this says it can store 1,000 storage, 1K bytes of storage, 1,024 bytes used, 63 types of items. So it can store any amount of items and bytes of data up to those specified numbers. So I can grab this and I can say only accept saplings. And I can type in here saplings. Format. And look, it says saplings on it now. Hovers right over it there. And then we can get in here, we can drop this chest, we could drop this chip. And this just became the sapling storage. And of course, we need to grab a controller because we need power for this thing. Each Applied Energistics setup needs one exact controller, no more, no less. And the controller basically just holds the entire thing together. I'm going to put our controller back here right behind the guy, because he can touch, that's fine. And of course, the controller needs power, so we're going to grab our Tesseract. And we're going to bring power right from over there that we have our power setup going here. I'm just going to drop him right on top. And we get our main power line. Ignore redstone. I just always do that, just, you know, as a sort of default measure. And instantly he gets power. He tells you how many of what items are in the system so far. And because all this stuff is touching each other, look, now we have power. We can drop our saplings in there. I'm going to grab all these saplings here. And we're going to put these in here, because that's important for our liquid boiler for fermenting. Can't believe I punched out a full barrel. Total fail there. You don't have to hide these chests underneath the ground, I just do, because it looks nice. Again, if it was a base, you'd be in your base wall. And I'm going to grab an apple. You don't have to format all these chests either. Again, I'm just insane. You could just let them... The system is plenty smart enough to know where it's got extra space open at. It's smart enough to know, hey, this chest is full, but this one over here isn't. And so it can always just instantly put things where it needs to go. And you don't ever actually have to open the chests, and I'll show you why in a few moments here. But I'm crazy neurotic, as I mentioned. If you didn't have OCD before, you will afterwards. And I like to just keep everything, whoa, nice and organized, because I'm insane. Just punched out my heat vent there. That's no good. Oh no, I had to punch out the containing wall. Where's our containing wall? There we go. No big deal. I'm actually not going to bother with formatting the sand and appetite. That can just go right in there like that. Looks like we're running a little low on appetite as well. Appetite. So I'm going to go ahead and grab some more and throw it in there. And some sand as well. Because this isn't the real world and I'm not actually playing, so I'm not mining. So if you guys want to donate some resources, just, drop them in the Tesseract. It'll bring it over here. I'm just kidding. It's an energy Tesseract, and you guys aren't on this world. Anyway, that was a dumb joke. My bad. So we're going to drop a storage chip in here. We're going to drop a storage chip in here. I'm going to cover these back up. There we go. And we don't need this chest anymore. So we're just going to drop this fertilizer that's left in here like that. And then you can grab a crafting monitor. You can use an access terminal or a crafting terminal, excuse me. Either one that you'd rather have. It doesn't matter. The only difference is that you can craft stuff on this crafting grid here, or you can just look at the access terminal. And you can pull stuff out of the terminal, or shift-click, drop it in, whatever you want to do. You can do search functions with it, and both of them do both of those. It's just that this one has a crafting grid on it. The crafting terminal and the access terminal. 3 glass, 4 iron, a cable, and the conversion matrix. It gives you the terminal, and pretty much similar, except for you need an access terminal in the creation of the crafting terminal. A couple more iron, a couple more glass, a crafting table, and a storage cell, which I showed you before. I am just feeling off my game today, guys, but I love this so much. I love making content for everyone. So I'm just plugging along. Throw me a pity like. Struggling a little bit today, not sure why. Having a great time, though. Having a blast so everyone gets to deal with my insane ramblings. We don't need any of this piping anymore, so we're going to get it out of there. I think first, though, I'm going to get the wood going here. So what you need next is you're going to need what's called an export bus. We're going to need export buses, and we're going to need import buses. So there's an export bus. There's an import bus. And the export bus and the import bus are how Applied Energistics moves items around within its own setup. So what you do is the export bus is a cable, an interface, a piston, and 2 iron. The interface is one of those matrices, a cable, and the iron and glass shown as such. An import bus is the same, except for instead of a piston, it's a sticky piston. Sticky piston is just a slime ball or some tar or something with a piston. And so what we're going to do is we're going to say export bus, because when you think about this, the common misconception is you're exporting to an item or importing from it, and that's actually not the case. You have to think of it as you're exporting to the system, or from the system, or importing to it. So when you're saying export, you're actually drawing stuff out of the system. Import, you're putting stuff into the system. So you grab like this, and you can see that it automatically put the big flat side against it. Import bus, importing to the system. If it had placed a different way, you can see that you can flip it around with your wrench, but you want the big flat side against the inventory like such. And then you can just run this cable directly underground over to touch any piece of the system. Like so. Bam. Now, anything that's in here, you'll start to see it draining. See all that saplings coming out already? It's importing stuff out of this inventory and into the system. So you didn't actually have to even worry about having an engine. It'll just automatically draw itself out. The reason why it does that is because it takes power anyway. You have to power the system through the controller. So what we're going to do is we're going to go down the line here, and we are going to get rid of all of our piping, and we're just going to attach our import buses. And I'm going to wreck up my track, because why not? There we go. Telling you guys, the best way to build is to wreck up things as you go. I'm a big fan of wrecking everything up. True story, real life too. If I don't wreck something up every day, I don't feel like I've done my job. Holy crap, coal! We need all that coal, guys. Make sure to mine it. Okay. So, getting rid of the piping. Just going to drop these saplings in here because it doesn't matter all that much. The minecart guy will come back and plant those again as soon as he comes back around and I get the dirt back in place. There we go. Yeah, I'll leave that open because we're going to drag a cable out that way in a few minutes here. Hey. There we go. And we can actually cover all this back up because we know we got that cable down there. We run this cable to the next one, and you can just connect these straight up to each other. They don't need any special connections or hookups. Import bus. Just like so. Import bus. Man, there's a lot of building work, guys. Import bus, cable. Import bus, cable. Whoop. Fantastic. Now we cover everything up. We pretend like we know what we're doing, and we cover everything up so it looks nice. And then people will come over and go, wow, your area looks so nice. How'd you do it? And then you go, oh, you know, a little trick here, a little trick there, and then you just don't let on that you did everything on accident. Always pretend like you did everything on purpose. That's one of the big rules of being super awesome and suave all the time. I am the friggin' Iron Man, so I am always awesome and always suave. As you guys can obviously tell, I never trip over my own tongue. Always make all the perfect jokes, say all the right things, all the time. Ha 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 ha. Fake it till you make it, as they say. There we go. Beautiful dirt. Again, if this was in your base, that'd all be in the walls. Now we got everything coming in here. This lets you show the crafting things. We don't have any crafting recipes as yet. That's going to be in a future episode. It's like I'm planning all this. You see how I made all the power systems and setup before I did the power required storage system? Wow, it's like I had all this planned in mind and stuff like that. Look how full that steam tank is. I love it. I love it to death. So, get rid of all the piping. Get rid of all the piping forever and ever. Amen. How much? Wow! We have 48 charcoal. How'd that happen? So here's another fun little tip for everybody so you know. Is that the ME chests are set up in such a way that they can accept input from piping. So if you don't have... Oh, come on, stick there. If you don't have the export and import buses set up, that's okay. You can pipe things directly into the chests. So for example, we got this charcoal. We want to put this charcoal in this chest. So I'm going to grab a pipe. I'm also going to turn off the rain and set the sunshine. Here's a pipe. Here's a pipe. And this will connect right to that chest. Like so. Now we can get the pipe out. Oh. Another wonderful misclicking fail by me, your host, Shunrin. Get an engine. Actually, no, let's get a redstone energy cell. Make things a little faster. Redstone energy cells can power wooden pipes. Hey pig, what's up? You'll see all that instantly drain, or nearly instantly. And it pipes just straight into the chest. See the number running up there? Beautiful. There we go. Can't believe we made so much charcoal. That's awesome. So, what we're going to do over here is continue getting rid of these pipes. Continue getting rid of the pipes. And we don't need that. We don't need that. All our hard work from the last couple videos totally gone. And then here's how you do this. In order to set up these to automatically make... In order to set these up to automatically make charcoal, what you do is you put an interface on them. And you put the interface on the side that does the work. So for furnaces and most machines, you're going to put it on the top. Not the face that you export items from, not the front. You want to put it on the side that does the work. So you need one interface, and I showed you those a moment ago because they're used in the crafting of the export and import buses. One interface per furnace, something. And then what we're going to do is you grab an oak log, and you grab a charcoal, which you should have plenty sitting around if you set everything up the same way I did in the last couple videos. You're going to go to your pattern encoder, and you're going to tell it if you put in oak wood, you are going to get charcoal in return. And you grab your blank pattern, and you click encode. Bam. Now it says assembly pattern crafts 1 charcoal with 1 oak wood, and you're going to need 1 of those per each furnace, and it will only hold 1 on there, so you have to click on each of these individually, which is a little annoying. Not going to lie. But hey, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now you have encoded patterns for charcoal, and you come up here and you drop these in the... Whoa, hello tree. You drop these into the interface there, and you can see it goes into the processing part. And you can, if you hold shift, you can see that it's a charcoal. And you got to drop 1 in each of these, and I think I only made enough for the top row. I have to go back and make 8 more of those. Sour. That tree is trying to ruin my life. Can't do anything with them here. There we go. And the fun thing is these connect to each other, so you don't need to run cabling along each of these. Again, all Applied Energistics things hook up to all other Applied Energistic things, which is really hilarious. I don't know about the non-powered stuff, but I know that anything that's powered or hooks up to the network can totally see through itself and transfer power and items, so you don't need to run cabling behind everything. Let's get 8 more of these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. There we go. And the system should be smart enough that it can instantly pull charcoal with that. With what we're going to do, we're going to tell it to keep that thing stocked with charcoal, and if it's got one furnace burning, it should be able to burn other furnaces. I actually haven't tested this yet, so this is going to be a new experience for all of us. Fantastic. And we are going to connect a cable up here, if I can reach. There we go. And then here and here. And we're going to come over here underground, and we're going to replace this with an import, or an export bus, because now we're exporting items out of the system, right? And what we're going to do is we're going to grab a charcoal, and we're going to tell this export bus, hey, keep this stocked with charcoal at all times, and you got to come over here, and it says redstone signal mode always active, so it doesn't need a redstone signal to turn on. And then you can tell this to move single items, move stacks of items, move single items, and craft as needed, and then always craft items. So if you don't want it to take stock stuff, you want to craft things, that's the way to go. So the best way to do is say move single items and craft. And then we're going to run this over here. Connect this guy up to this. There we go. Whoops. Man, all the misclicks for all the days. I've made that joke already, but like I said, I'm off my game, guys, today a little bit. You know why I'm off my game, I just realized? I got back into the gym yesterday. For the first time in over a year, had a terrible head injury, finally got back into the gym. I am sore. I decided to go for the full hour on the elliptical machine because I needed to get back into the swing of things. Didn't want to pansy out. Could have gone for half an hour. Wanted to compete with myself to see if I could do it. And that was probably a poor life choice because now I'm just sore for all the days. Another joke that I've made 1,000 times. 1,000 times. Wow! Oh my gosh, guys. There we go. So now that we've connected up our whole setup and everything's looking good, you can see that the boiler's instantly turned back on because we had charcoal in that system over there. We had charcoal in that barrel, we moved it into the ME chest, and as soon as we connected up this export bus to that main setup over there, you can see it's already bringing charcoal over. It's not crafting any yet because it still had the 48 stacks that we moved over there before. Once it needs charcoal, it'll craft in that piping in that furnace system. But doesn't that look so much neater? That's all you need. You don't need all that crazy piping out the front and everything underneath and keeping things stocked. Applied Energistics just knows what it's doing, which is amazing. So it's going to stock this up, and this is going to keep running. And look, we didn't lose a whole lot of heat. It's fantastic. And everything's still going over here, I'm assuming, because we had, it only just ran through its saplings that we had up here already, so we don't need to worry about this so much. It's getting hot too. I like it. So much steam. That tank is full. I love it. So now what we're going to do is we're going to do the same thing over here. And you can, basically again, we're just removing pipes. We don't need this anymore because I'm going to show you guys how to craft stuff over there. Actually, you know what? Let's do that first really quick. Probably a good idea. Again, you go to the crafting encoder and you're going to say sand and sand, and it just takes an imprint, by the way. It doesn't actually consume the item like the table had to hold on to the item. And you're going to encode it right there because it just comes right up to sand, and then an apatite makes fertilizer and code. And this, instead of putting it in one of those interfaces, we just put it right in the crafting machine. Modular assembly table. Bam. And you can hold shift to see it just like over there. And this now knows that it can turn stuff in chests into that. And so now when you click on your crafting terminal or your interface, you can see, hey, I can request fertilizer. And if you take all the fertilizer out, it'll say craft in little letters. So you can craft that. And if you click it, you can say how much you want to craft. But if we're going to keep it stocked, if we're going to keep all those, if we're going to keep all these guys over here, all these fermenters stocked with fertilizer, then it'll just do it on its own. You don't actually need to craft it or tell it to or anything like that. So let's get this going over here. We just need to get these pipes in order. Trying really hard, lagging a tiny bit because of the recording. So I'm going to try really hard not to misclick and have to rebuild stuff as we go. The other thing I love about Applied Energistics is the piping doesn't have to be worked in funny ways. You don't need sandstone for this or golden for that or anything like that. You just connect all the things to itself. I just destroyed a lever. Oh, great. There we go. Break you out. Break you out. These guys are out of biomass. Where are you going? Oh. Oh, yeah. The wheat. We don't actually need the wheat anymore. Okay. So now that we got the pipes out of there, it's going to be the exact same sort of setup. You're going to go export bus to export from the system. And you're going to want one of those on the top and bottom of each of these guys. Let's make it daytime again. Pretend we slept. Export bus, export bus, export bus for all the days. There we go. And you just wrench them so that they point to the machine. Consider it like a big arrow. See how it's got the thicker part right there, and it moves around. So you point to the machine that you want to put things in. The top one started just fine. These we got to move around a little bit. There we go. Oops. There we go. And then we grab our cables here. Wow, getting a lot of latency. Just like that. And then we'll just run this over here. And then cover this up. Man. Oh, and apparently I killed the lever over here too. And then what we're going to do is we're going to grab a sapling and we're going to grab a fertilizer. Like so. Holy cow. Wow. What happened there? Oh, man. That is all kinds of fun times. More entertainment for your guys' pleasure at my expense. Not sure why that crashed. Just getting a lot of latency. Not sure why it's not coming back up. Assuming it does come back up, I won't need to edit. Although, you know what, guys? I think I'm going to go ahead and actually restart my client here really quick. I don't like to pause the video ever, but you guys don't need to watch that. I'll be back in just a second. Alright, guys, I'm back. Got a little bit of a restart of the client going on here. Turns out the reason I was having some problems is because my server was having issues. And what I mean by server is this is a single-player world. I actually run a server, and it was having a lot of memory crash errors, which was dumping a lot of information out into it was dumping a lot of information out into Java in Windows there, and so that was what was causing a lot of the issues. So I had a lot of page out file issues going on. So my entire computer was starting to chug, but hey, no big deal. So you take these export buses and you put the saplings in the top, you put the fertilizer in the bottom, as with the pipes. If we can get a solid click going on in here. Maybe I should do it from this side here. Oh wow, can't even get to my own work now. There we go. So, fertilizer in the bottom, sapling in the top. Did I get the sapling in the top already? Yeah. So you can see that nothing in here, 61 in here. Drop the sapling in the top, and instantly it fills up the saplings. Fertilizer in the bottom, and instantly it starts putting fertilizer back in there. Ahem, instantly, oh, right. Single and craft. Single and craft. Whoop, that wasn't single and craft, was it? Oh yeah, it was, okay. Single and craft. Now we got it. Fertilizer, saplings, single and craft. There. So much more beautiful, so much more simple. All the biofuel for all the days. And that, guys, is pretty much it. Now we got our automatic crafting setup. We got our automatic trees importing. It just comes down that line, comes in here. And we got our controllers and all that kind of good stuff. And it's just feeding everything. I kind of want to see those burn, actually. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab down here. What we're going to do here is I'm actually going to just take this chip out of here. All the data for all your items is just stored on this chip. So you can leave the ME chest in place and you can remove this chip. See how it says 2 of 63 types of items, 334 out of 1024 bytes used. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to take this out of here and I'm going to take this chip out. Actually, I'm going to put the chip back in for 1 second. I need one coal out of here, or one charcoal out of here. And I'm actually going to format this because I want to have a large capacity for charcoals, and I don't want it to have anything else going on. So I'm going to format it. This might actually kill the charcoal, but I don't care. We can always make more. Charcoal format. Nope, it kept all the data. Awesome. There we go. And you can see since we don't have charcoal because all the charcoal is on the data on this chip, you can see that this is starting to burn and it's making charcoal for us. Why is it just sitting there? Hello? Oh, you know what we should do? Because oh man. Okay, so yet another thing we gotta fix, guys, really quick. Because apparently I was a complete dunce, and I told it 1 oak to 1 charcoal, which is just horrible, horrible planning. And you know what else we're gonna do? I think actually it's time for. Let's do this. We got more than enough power generation going on, you guys. I think it's time that we got a really nice fast powered furnace going on here. So let's do this. Let me grab. I'm actually gonna keep one of these because it's 1 charcoal to 1 oak with these, and we're gonna get a powered setup going here in a moment. Okay, so let's do a powered furnace, because a powered furnace is a thermal expansion machine and runs off of Buildcraft power. 2 bricks, 1 redstone, 2 copper, a machine frame, and a redstone reception coil. Reception coil is a gold and 2 redstone. The machine frame is 4 iron, 4 glass, and 1 gold. And we're going to drop you right here. And we're going to get one of our tesseracts so it has power. We're going to drop it behind it. We're going to tell it ignore redstone signal. We're going to tell it receive only. Check the main power. There we go. Now it's got power coming in from our power generation. And we are going to grab this, tell it to ignore redstone as well. And what I want to do is I'm going to put the interface on top, so we want to keep this configured to blue for the input. And then what we're going to do is set this to a blank color on the side like so. And then we're going to tell this import bus. That way once it's done cooking stuff, it automatically pulls it out. And we're going to grab an interface like so. And stick it on top. Those do have to be connected like that, and then we can grab our cable here. Like so. And then we can put our, there we go, and instantly it starts crafting. Grabs the charcoal out, grabs the charcoal, and you can't see it because it's happening really fast, because the powered furnace, it consumes the item immediately upon receiving it, so you're not actually seeing the wood enter, but you can see the charcoal blinks out really quick like that. And I believe that should be fast enough. Now that we're really hot, it should be fast enough to keep up. Almost. Once this hits 900 degrees, it'll be plenty to keep up, now that we got a powered furnace going. So that's beautiful. I like it. So what we're going to do here is that's all we need now. Now that we got the power running and the Applied Energistics setup going, everything looks good. This machine, this furnace and everything, actually what you could do, actually let's do that, just for the heck of it. Powered furnace. Let's put you right like this. So now he can touch this tesseract as well. And we're going to get our export bus, or import bus, excuse me. And you can see it just immediately connects to the wall there. All good. And we are going to do exactly what we did a moment ago. And we're going to turn that, there we go. And then we'll get our interface. So this is just another way to hide things, guys. Again, this would be like in the wall. Maybe you can see this part. Maybe the wall of your base, maybe you built a big brick wall. Let's say that you got a big brick wall going. Let's say stone chisel bricks, because those look kind of cool. And this is the wall of your base. And you walk in the door of your base, you walk in the front door, and this is what you see. Like that, maybe, right? And you're like, oh, okay, well, I need to craft some stuff, and you're crafting some stuff, and you can't see all this behind the wall. So, for example, that's how that would look. And then we're going to come over here, and I'm going to grab this out of here, and we are going to kill these, because I moved them over there. And we'll make it daytime again, pretend we slept through the night. What happened to my cable? There we go. So you pretend that's the wall of your base, and you come in here, and all this stuff is happening behind it. And this is actually making charcoal back here. Or it would be if I put the chip in there. There we go. Now it's making charcoal back here. And it's just cycling it through the system all by itself. You don't ever have to touch it. So that's how that works, guys. It's a fantastic and wonderful thing. I'm going to put this charcoal chip back in here so it can keep that thing full up, and we are making crazy tons of power. So yeah, a lot more clean, a lot more efficient, a lot nicer, looks beautiful, looks wonderful, fantastic, amazing, etc., so forth. All those words, all those fantastic things that mean greatness. We have achieved much greatness in the last few videos. If you haven't subscribed and commented yet, do it. If you have, fantastic. I love you all forever, all the days. I would really like to get any feedback anybody has. Haven't gotten a lot of that yet, but I know I'm only on my third video. So, that wraps up this last installment. I am Shunrin, a.k.a. the friggin' Iron Man, and I will see everybody next time. Peace out.